Hello everybody, welcome back to another video doing some HVAC or some layouts for ductwork. We're going to be doing still some square to round layouts. So on the first videos, actually before I talk about that, just want to let you guys know that this video is going to be a little bit different as far as the process goes. It's basically be almost the same thing, but the only difference is that it's going to have 4 different layouts because the one that I'll be showing you guys today is going to what I call extreme offsets, meaning that it's not going to be, you know, layout that's just going to require 1 or 2 layouts, but basically it's going to need 4. So to get a better understanding of what I'm talking about, this right here is just a standard squared around, and if you notice, everything is pretty much centered, so you just need to duplicate it 1 time. So you just make this layout only once and it'll basically be the same thing on the other side. The next upgrade to this, or not upgrade, but rather the other option is if you have an offset, meaning that instead of having the square and the circle dead center from each other, it's going to have an offset, meaning that it's going to shift over to one side, whether it's the circle or the square. And when it's something like this, then it's obviously going to require 2 different types of layouts. As you can see, it's going to require 1 layout for this right here and another different layout for this side right here. So that's just going to be 2 layouts as opposed to just 1 where it's, you know, dead center like this one. But now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing an extreme offset. So it's not in the center, it's not going up or down, left or right, but rather at an angle. And because of that, it's going to require these 4 sides to have their own layouts so that we can meet them all in one and produce this piece right here. So anyways, what we're going to be doing today is going to be a 7x7 square, which is this right here. And it's going to go into a 4-inch diameter circle with a 4-inch height from here to the top. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so let's begin. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and make a square right here, and then once we're done making that square, we're going to go ahead and make a circle right here, 4-inch diameter circle. So let's go ahead and start with the square. We're going to go ahead and use our tool here and get something going. So let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's our 7-inch right around there. We're going to go ahead and use our compass. A little short on the vertical side or line, so let me extend that just a tad bit so I can reach that arc. Okay. Okay, there's our 7x7 square. Let me just make sure this looks even. Okay. I want to go ahead and put our circle there. And I'm just going to go ahead and line it up. I'm going to throw a line right here so that I can have the circle nice and even at an angle. Okay, we're going to go ahead and give it we're going to give it a 1-inch gap from the circle to the square. So that's the 1-inch mark or gap, and then 1, 2, 2. That's half of the 4-inch diameter. That's where I'm going to go ahead and put our compass. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make our circle. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and divide both the circle and our square. The square, let's go ahead and start with the square first. We're going to divide it in four sections. So 1, 2, 3.5. Same thing on this side. So this 7x7 square, it's going to be divided in 4 pieces. So 1, 2, 3.5. Okay, let's go ahead and start making our lines. Okay. Okay, so there's a square divided in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the circle, but on the circle, we're going to go ahead and make a whole bunch of pies. Well, not a bunch of pies, but what we're going to do is, we can divide it in 4s, and then half of those, and then half of those. So we'll essentially, if you can imagine a line or a pie right here, it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then the same thing on these 4 corners. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the existing line that's here, that's divided this circle. I'm going to go ahead and use that and strike arcs so I can divide that utilizing the existing line. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay. Should line up pretty close. Right there and right there. That one's like that and like that. Let's go ahead and erase this now. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and divide this and that. So, for that, we're going to go ahead and use our smaller compass. That'll be a lot easier. So on that, I open up the compass past the halfway mark between these two distances so that I can ensure a crisscross arc from one another from all points. So I'm going to put my compass here now, crisscross the previous arc like so, and that's the line there, and then swing it over. But I'm sure you guys already know how to do that if you guys have already seen the first videos on making these squirt around. Okay, now we can go ahead and divide that. Okay, now we're going to do it one more time. So we're now going to go ahead and divide this like so. Like that. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. Strike some arcs in between each point. A little bit past the halfway point. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and run those through to divide these in smaller pies. Also, while I'm doing this, just want to let you guys know, if you guys are watching this, since I'm calling this the extreme offset, this is going to be a slightly longer video because of the amount of steps that it takes, or repeated steps, to try to make this work. So I'm just letting you guys know right now that this will probably be a 3-part video, meaning that I'll probably end up, this first video that you guys are watching is probably just gonna be showing you guys on prepping the information, which what we're doing right now, meaning, you know, obviously drawing the circle to the square, and then dividing them, and then also doing our true length triangle, which is the you know, 2 lines, a vertical and a horizontal line that meet at one point, and that'll give us our true length distances from the square to the circle. And so anyways, that in itself is going to take some time, maybe about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. Anyways, my point is that I want to make it too long, because that in itself might take about an hour. So I'd figure if I do it in 3 parts, it won't be a long, boring video, which I'm hoping it's not. And I'd rather just do it in 3 parts, so that way you guys can you know, not get bored. And if you feel like you just want to learn the first steps, then you can go ahead and select the video that you're looking for, as opposed to clicking on a video that's over an hour. So I'm guesstimating this is going to take about maybe about an hour total, or maybe less. So I'm going to do my best to make it kind of short and sweet, but at the same time not miss out important information that you might need to make this happen. Okay, so anyways, this is what we want. So we're going to go ahead and now label these, give these 4 sections their designated name. So we're going to go with letters. So hopefully you guys can see this. We're going to call this section A, B, C, and D. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So this would be A, B, C, and D. Okay, so we're going to be making a layout from this bottom section of the square. So A and B will hook up with these two bottom section of the circle A and B, and the same thing goes from C to D to the top portions of the circle C and D. Okay, now that we got that down, we're going to go ahead and number these 1 through 5. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the same thing going that way. So we're going to be sharing 1 with A and B. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the same thing on top. Number this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5's there. Go to the left side. Go 2, 3, 4, and 5 is right there. Okay. So we're going to be now making true length triangles. And again, just like I said, it's two lines, vertical and horizontal lines that meet, and that'll be very important to have so that we can transfer all this information onto our true length triangles. So since we're making extreme offset here, squared around, and we're making 4 different sections, we're going to also make 4 true length triangles so that it's not confusing for everybody that's watching this. So we're going to make a vertical and horizontal line. I'm going to make them nice and long because I know the reach is going to be kind of long on this. And we're going to go ahead and make another one here. Okay, you might be asking, well, how high am I going vertical? I'm going past the 4-inch mark, and you'll see right now I'm just doing this random just so that I can speed up the process. But as far as your vertical lines, since we're going 4-inch height, you only want to go 4 inches. I'm just going past a little bit on that because I'll eventually erase the excess lines, so it's not going to be a big deal. And as far as your horizontal lines going like this, you can go as far as you want, but it all depends on the reach, on how far. And like I said, on this I know it's going to be a long reach, so that's why I'm throwing my lines really far on this so that I can make it work. Okay, you know what, there's some spacing here. I think I could probably fit another true length triangle there because I don't want to go and put a lot of mess right here in our workspace. So let's do one right here. Okay. I think we're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and give these some extended lines, just so that I can guarantee that our information will reach. All right, so now that we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and go 4 inches because we're going to go 4-inch height. So you're going to take your ruler or your tape measure, and then in this case it's part of a tape measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Put our 4 inches right there. Go on to the next true length triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go 4 inches. And same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 inches. And if you guys are following along and doing a different layout, meaning different size, 1, 2, 3, 4, this will work. So say for instance, instead of going 4 inches in height and you want to go 5, then yeah, just go ahead and go 5. So instead of 4, you want to go ahead and count 5 inches and then put your mark right there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and label this as true length triangle A, true length triangle B, true length triangle C, true length triangle D. Okay, because this is for this, B is for this, C is for this one, and D is for that, and that will apply for the circle as well. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and transfer all this information here before we start doing the layout. Let's start with A. So you're going to take your sharp point of your compass and put it on this side of the corner of A, the square. Put it right there. Open up your compass and put it on number 1 on your pencil point. Lock it in place like so, as you can see. And you're going to put this point now on true length triangle A here. Swing it over, strike an arc. That is now 1. Okay, I'll do the same thing, and you're going to go to 2. So sharp point on A again here on this side of the corner of the square. Open up your compass and put your pencil point on 2. Lock it in place, as you can see. Sharp point on A. Swing it over, strike an arc. You found 2. Do it again. Now go to 3. Sharp point on square A. Open up your compass to 3 now. Lock it in place like so. Sharp point on true length triangle A. Swing it over, strike an arc, and there's 3. So you guys can see this is a pattern, and all you're doing is repeating the process. We're going to go to 4 and lock it in place. Go to true length triangle A, strike an arc, and that is 4. And the last one is 5. Put your sharp point on square A, that corner. Open up your compass to number 5 on the left side. Lock it in place like so. Put your compass on true length triangle A. Strike an arc. And that is now 5. Okay? And now the last thing you need to do is you need to find X. X is right here and right there. So you want the distance now from this middle section of the square, half, to this half section of the circle. So that'll be from here to here. So go ahead and put your compass, put your sharp point on the half portion of the square on X, and open it up to 5. Lock it in place like that. Put your compass on your true length triangle A, swing it over, strike an arc, and this you're going to label it as X. Okay, now notice how A and D are on this side, and the same thing applies on this one, on the circle. A and D are on this side. So you're going to use the same information from X to 5 on this side on C as well. So since it's already on here, haven't moved it, you notice? I'm going to go ahead and put the same information on C. So I'm going to put my compass on true length triangle C, strike an arc, and that is now X on true length triangle C. Okay? All right. I know it sounds confusing, but just follow along. It'll make sense later on. Okay. Let's go to B now. So we're done with A. Now let's do the information from B to B. Okay. Sharp point on this side of the square B. Open up your compass to 1. Like so. Okay, you're going to lock it in place. That's how you do it. Okay. Sharp point on true length triangle B, which is right here. Sharp point on B. Swing it over, strike an arc, and that is now 1, or 1B if you want to call it 1B. Okay, now 2. Sharp point on the square of B. Open up your compass to 2. Lock it in place like so. Sharp point on true length triangle B. Swing it over, strike an arc. That is 2. Okay, 3. Go to 3. Lock it in place like so. Sharp point on B, true length triangle B. Swing it over, strike an arc, and that is now 3. Okay, now 4. Sharp point on this side of the square, B. Open up your compass to 4 on your pencil point. Lock it in place. You can see. Sharp point on true length triangle B. Swing it over. And that lands on 2, if you notice. So we're going to go ahead and mark that as 4. And that is most likely because this line that I drew here before basically lined up the circle. So everything's pretty much even. So I'm thinking that's what's happening. Okay, so now we're done with 4. Now we're going to go and do 5. Now, since I said that, we're going to assume that the distance from 1 to 5 is going to be the same. So put your compass on square B. Open up your pencil point on your compass to 5. Lock it in place. See that? I'm going to swing it over to 1 and see what happens. It matches. See that? So now you're going to take your point, true length triangle B, swing it over, and it hits on 1. So we're going to mark this as 5 as well. Okay, now we're going to look for X. X, remember, is the center of the square, which is here, to the center, or not the center, but rather half of the outside of the square, which is here, and half of the outside of the circle, which is here on 5. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And you put your sharp point on this half section of the square here. Open up your compass to 5. Lock it in place. Okay. Put your sharp point on B. Swing it over. Strike an arc. That is now X. Same thing, like we said. X is going to be shared with with D as well. So we're going to go ahead and go to true length triangle D, which is right here. And we're going to use the same information and just simply strike the arc there, since we already have it locked in. Strike an arc, and that is now X for D. Okay. All right. So we're done with A and B here. Now we're going to go ahead and do C and D, C and D. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start on this side. Put your sharp point on C, this corner of the square. Open up your compass, put your pencil point on number 1. Right around there. Lock it in place. Go to now true length triangle C. Swing it over. And that is now 1. Okay, same thing on 2. Oops, that moved a little bit. Okay. Hopefully you guys can already see the pattern. Or hopefully you guys have looked at the previous videos, so that way you guys can see the rhythm or the pattern that's going, or that's taking place right now. Hopefully, maybe I'll stay quiet and you guys can concentrate on what I'm doing, so you guys can see the pattern. So 2 and 4 are the same. So the same thing is probably going to apply with 5 and 1. Yep. Okay, now we're going to go to D. D1. Now we're going to go to true length triangle D, sharp point where both the vertical and horizontal lines meet. Strike an arc here. That is 1. We're going to do 2. Three. If you guys prefer that I repeat myself on this process, even though it's repetitive, let me know in the comments. I'm just not sure. I'd figure that after this video or up to this point, if people have seen the first videos, they kind of already have an understanding of what it takes. So, you know, I'm not sure if I should just not call it out. Some people might not need the call outs, and some people do. But if you do, let me know, and take note of that. Okay. So that's pretty much it right there. I'm going to mark this as 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. Okay. So that's that. This will probably conclude part 1 of 3. We're probably going to stop it right here. Look for me on the next video, which will be part 2 of 3. But basically we now are ready to go ahead and start making this layout here with this layout here, and we're going to be needing all this information to make this, so that we can go ahead and make this squirt around that you see right here. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on part 2 of 3. All right, bye.